Color?
I still like the green with the green.
Green with the green.
Yeah. And the green eyes didn't really come out.
How do I... No, not that one. What was the... Never mind. We'll just have to do that. All right. So if it is true that chaos brings greatness, then there really is no sense of trying to be orderly with a thing like this. What that's telling me is that regardless of how linear and assembled and constructed and orderly and all the images, all the image of what beautiful art is supposed to look like really has no bearing on the spontaneous discovery in the midst of the chaos in which brings greatness. And it's a lot of potential. It's a lot of power. And it brings up a lot of fear and control that the people pleaser and the perfectionist needs to stay clear of at all costs. It really allows for, in the passion, in the potential, in the permission, in the freedom, in the fearlessness for the ability to be guided or be directed from a place of no pressure, because I'm allowed, quote unquote, to only speak when I am excited to do so. There is no pressure to have to speak if any of the motives are dirty or confused, which totally eliminates all the indecision of all the possibilities of what I could talk about. And it's an interesting place to be when the space no longer needs to be filled, but aims more towards, what do I as an artist desire to fill the space, the canvas, with? How do I want to give my blood, my sweat, and my tears, and my soul out on display of this canvas to the best of my ability, to the highest performance of my creativity and craft, with all the colors at my disposal and tools at my disposal, brushes and instruments and talents and abilities to tell a story that will resonate with my audience. I've spent so much bandwidth in the people pleaser, trying to contort or convert people who aren't my audience to like me. And that takes a lot of energy, and it's a thankless, useless job that gets nowhere and uses a lot of energy. All as well stemming from the unworthiness or low self-esteem that ignored the audience that was here for this. And the audience that does like my content. It almost makes it like invisible or not seen, not enough to actually move the needle of people that like me, my audience. Wasn't allowed to see it. I wasn't allowed to acknowledge it. Wasn't allowed to feel it, most importantly. It was all about the impossible task of getting people who didn't like me to like me. that was the bar of success. And it's almost so much freedom, so much creative allowance to have a canvas and an audience that cleanly wants to see what I produce, that it almost feels foreign. Maybe not even almost, it is foreign. Like it chokes me up. It chokes me up to realize how much fun is available when the old restrictions and constrictions are no longer running the show of what I see as lacking. Because if you enjoy the whole contrast from edge to edge, from extreme to extreme of the Jeremy Lasman brand experience, then I could do no wrong. There is no bad art if that is the space that I have to entertain. And this was a thing that came up as a question to myself. Because it's beyond the label. It's more the emotional experience. But the question being, am I an entertainer? Which poses the question further, what is the difference between being an artist and being an entertainer if they aren't mutually exclusive? Because it would be easy to say artists are entertainers and entertainers are artists, but they're different terms, and we gotta honor the terms, that they mean something different. And when I really sit in what is the difference between an artist and entertainer, the entertainer, to me, goes closer in proximity to being a people pleaser. I'm not saying it's always overlapped, but when I look at the aims of what being an entertainer means, you're sort of limiting the constraint to the positive end of the emotional experience. An entertainer's job is to bring joy and pleasure to an audience. At least the good ones do. Entertainers aren't really going to the other end of the spectrum of emotion if I'm really being sensitive to the difference in the term. An entertainer who makes their audience cry, I don't think he's doing his job correctly. That's one point here. Whereas an artist plays with the whole spectrum of emotion and orchestrates everything. All bets are off. Everything is on the table when it comes to being an artist. Positivity, negativity, they're exploring the edges of the human experience and the soul and the meaning of life and all the layers that means. So that's why I've never really verged on the entertainer's side, because it boxed me in to the outcomes of the need to entertain someone, and that being happiness and joy and positivity and relief and laughing and everything above the fold of the polarities is sort of the playground of an entertainer. But I want more strings to orchestrate. And that's why I would lean toward artist. But there is something about entertainer that I've also restricted about how much fun it is to have fun and to bring fun and joy and escape to other people, insofar as the pure enjoyment of enjoyment, nothing, no meaning or message or greater aims, but for the pure enjoyment of bringing enjoyment. Because when I'm in artist territory and layers of I could go layers of consciousness. I need a lot of meaning and depth and height to be interested. Now, I'm not saying that mindless entertainment is bad. I consume too. But when we talk about interest, this is another thing that was coming up around this, was the difference between it being a consumer and being a creator. I can't just enjoy art from that surface. For me to be invested or get into it, I need that intelligence. I need something to sink my teeth into that isn't just necessarily giving it all to me instant gratification. There is something about the delayed gratification of art, the expansiveness of it, the timelessness of it, the ways in which you grow with it over time, that is so attractive to me. The depths and the heights and the discovery and the newness that the revisiting of great art gets. Can't get that with entertainment, broad stroke, most of the time. But something is raising this as a question to my brand, to Jeremy Lasman as an artist, of what do I really have fun being and doing? Because playing characters and acting doesn't always have to be 100% artistically fulfilling for it to be fun. So there's an interesting balancing act here of a question of entertainment value and artistic value meeting here in where my best performance is delivered. Because I know it's not about the words. It's about, first and foremost, with presence. And me cranking that up into uncharted territories of individuality and larger than life energy, going where no man has gone before. Role modeling limitlessness, experimenting, researching, above all, being passion driven. Because I got a comment the other day on one of my stand-up comedy bits saying something to the level of like, your content doesn't belong on YouTube or something like that. And I mean, if old version Jeremy were to heard that, it would probably have shut me down pretty good. But I got to hear it from this new vantage point and really test what I've been talking about, kind of in the practice of this. And I'm like, my channel, this is my channel. This ain't anyone else's channel. This is my channel, and you're telling me I don't belong on my own channel on this open space called the internet, where it's all fair game. We all have the same opportunity, the same space to basically do whatever we want. Other people can do whatever they want, but apparently, because of the flavor of my content, I don't belong on a channel that is under my name and email address. Mind-boggling. And I'm bringing that up because in practicing and playing these spontaneous, no planned, no topic lives, I'm exploring the self-expression, performance, where art meets entertainment. Which is true discovery. And dangerous. And raw. And something that I have to be reminded or else I forget is very difficult for people, damn near impossible. Because I forget that. I forget the like you feel it's like it's not register, it doesn't register that much anymore. But when you're reflected, the holy shit, you're able to do that factor, and you remember like where you came from, and the high bar of difficulty it takes to speak without knowing what you're going to say, to put yourself out there without knowing what you're going to say, uh, to, as one other commenter said, put your face out there without money being involved for the pure passion of going to the edge of the diving board and jumping right into the deep end. Like you almost forget the exhilaration of what that means in a real life versus digital scenario, which is blurred anyways. Man, and I feel like my connection to you, my audience, actually feeling, actually having emotion, opposite a robot, the connection that we have when I'm fully allowed to embrace the energy, the collective consciousness of me to you to me, the relationship that we have of you wanting to sit there as my audience voluntarily, not being forced, not being coerced, not being freaking manipulated to be here by some weird way. If our context is clean and you're here for the love of the game, as I'm here for the love of the game, and you're voluntarily, desirefully putting me on stage, you want me on stage rather than out there in the audience, like you are saying, we want the spotlight on me in a non-coerced, non-manipulative way, not for any ulterior motives or anything that I could come up with to dismantle the humility, the appreciation, the allowance, the esteem, the qualification, the love, the admiration, the oh my gosh, like the respect that means to me when I come from the unworthiness that said that I wasn't good enough or entertaining enough or dynamic enough or extroverted enough or too shy, too insecure, untalented. All the ways that I would neurotically tear down the desire for an audience, but not feeling it being the case. And I could do better with that. The inability to acknowledge the audience, whether that be ignorance, ignoring, or lack. It's not enough, so it's not. It's too small. It's not adequate to call it an audience. Everything from that would tear down that shit, from insecurity and inadequacy and the feeling of not being enough, to have it, to see it, to acknowledge it, to talk to it, to establish a relationship with that was cohesive and clear. It would all be so convoluted. And no sense of location. Where are they? Here, something here. There was no congealed sense that it was a unified consciousness entity that what is this the dynamic, the play together that we have when I'm listening and when the connection is there, and when I actually feel the love, when I actually feel that, oh man, that coercion, the manipulation is funny here, because it's like, oh, you're only in the audience right now because you were forced to be here. Like, you have a duty to be here. That's like what the audience, like, if I'm carrying that, like, then they're not a real audience, right? Like, they're there for some other means, or just they're not full body, mind, and spirit, like just robotic or mechanical or coerced. Or you see how that tears down the dynamic, the reality of it, the cohesiveness of that self-esteem, to believe that I deserve it, that I'm worthy of it. Huge. Feels good. Feels really good. Yeah. Then there's no wall, there's no discrepancy, there's no static, that what I'm feeling, you are feeling. It is a symbiotic, dynamic relationship of collaborative listening, and your choice to see me be the artist and the entertainer that is artistering you or entertaining you. Artistering. Am I artistering you? I mean, if it's entertain, I mean, if I'm an entertainer, I'm entertaining you. The logic fits. If I'm an artist, I'm artistering you right now. You love it? All those strings I'm pulling? Because I could go to pain really quick. I'm not entertaining. I'm artistering. Because that's when you know it's dangerous, because we can go downward at any time. You don't know when the roller coaster is going to drop. You think you're safe. You think you're being entertained, and then you're artistered. That's good. That's good. I let's see if there's any questions. Let's see if there's any questions. I lost my feed. If hmm. I'm still alive. I lost Amber.
Here, I'm right here.
Oh, there we go. Lost your video feed up there.
Oh, weird. I have a question.
Yes.
Since I've been artisted. Your brand is all about mindful entertainment. And you're bringing up the fact that we've never considered, are you an entertainer? And I love where you just went with that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like being on the back end side of that, like what is entertainment to you, to the brand now? What is being an entertainer to mindful entertainment?
Well, I feel context is important, but as far as like this page, YouTube, what we like landed and discovered where it was like wit and wisdom, that sort of paints the aim, I think, of what you're saying is in the context of me with a microphone in my hand, we're going towards the wit. And that definitely is more entertainer. I would say stand-up comedian and me holding the microphone context on stage is leaning towards comedy and that light of things, because you could talk about really shitty things in comedy, really painful, dreadful things, but the ultimate thing is to spin it towards comedy is the aim. And so there's plenty of room for artistry there, that it's not just here like a cinematically sad, tragic movie that doesn't have a happy ending, for the art of it. But I like that the spectrum that paints wit to wisdom, because in some contexts, it won't be entertaining. Well, I shouldn't say that. My goal is that even when I talk about dense, depth, rich, raw, emotional problems or pains or low things, that bringing that wisdom will make it entertaining. Might not be always pleasurable and joyful because it might explode triggers and realizations and insights that come after the spike in whatever the low frequencies are. But ultimately at the tail end of those opportunities is a discovery, is a realization, is an insight. And hopefully in the way I deliver wisdom, it is entertaining. but in the sense of you enjoy it, it just might not always be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Mindful entertainment, wit and wisdom, different contexts of performance.
From entertainment to artistry
Yeah.
in that sense. Okay. And I was also curious, you said you felt like you were choked up, like you were so moved to be choked up. Like what is the feelings that you have there? Like what makes you choke up? What makes that gives you so much depth of feeling there?
Who was the that classic Oscar speech? Was that Marissa? No, it wasn't Marissa Tomei. It was Sally Field. You like me? You really like me?
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
That. It's like to come from the dark places that I come from, quote unquote, of self hatred, if we really come down to it. Lone wolf, isolated, alone with neurotic, negative worldview. Nobody likes you and you don't belong. And you're an outcast, you don't fit in. And you're only getting that like morsel scraps of purpose and pleasure by being a people pleaser, which is not actually being authentic at all, but it is giving you those scraps of like, oh, he likes me, she likes me, like, but it's table scraps, and it's
enough to barely survive.
It's junk though, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough to exactly to wow, you like me enough to want to be here under your own volition and free will, and you're staying here, and you want to be here, and you're gonna come here and support, be a fan, everything that it means to be in someone's audience. I don't think I've ever experienced what that feels like until now, as clear as it is now. Because I've been in situations that there is an audience there, but to have an audience, and it wasn't even on the radar, but if I get to the emotions that this is drumming up, is like how unworthy and undeserving I felt to know I need to earn it somehow. I need to, I'm not good enough yet. I'm not good enough yet. Unworthy. It just, yeah, drums up how low I felt about myself, how inadequate and unworthy, undeserving I felt about my talent, ability, performance.
You know, I imagine that a lot of your audience resonates with like how you feel, and I'm wondering, like, can you give us like some insight into how you evolved that? Like, what baby steps did you take, or what did you do to evolve to where you are now?
Well, we were having that conversation about compounding earlier, and I just go to, well, prior to that was I went to acting class and got to be around other actors trying it and learning it, and I got to practice a little bit there. Like, that was a step. But the first thing that came up was choosing to practice baby step and go live for the first time on my Facebook page way back. And I think from there, it was just trying to raise the bar ever so slightly every single time and put in the reps, get the reps, practice it. Do it louder and louder each time, to start to disprove slowly but surely the other side of the coin. And, you get some viewers here and there, started to establish like a Facebook group page that started to accrue people there, started to get clients here and there. Got to do some public speaking stuff here and there. Then it was like taking my rebelliousness of being a brand to being a brand that embraces the rebelliousness of not wanting to be a brand somehow, paradoxically. Taking that seriously, like more professionally. Focusing it. Refining it. And I feel like really getting to the actual desire for what I want it to be, and where I want it to be, how I want it to be, when all the fear and negativity is no longer clouding the connection and the vision and the dynamic of this, as a creative act, as a drive of self-expression and passion. How I want it to feel like play and experimental and new ground is how it feels. And I think that's just a testament to getting super clear and focused on what doesn't belong and what belongs. And just practicing, and putting it all out there. And that's looking back, that's what has compounded.
And then using imagination technology to clear all the fear and negativity as you were going through each step. I see. Yeah, no. Thank you. I love it. I'm highly entertained.
And
love it.
And artistry.
And artist.
Yeah.
And artistry.
You guys, spiritually entertained. Sports entertainment. Spiritual entertainment. And a professional artist. Cool. Yeah. That feels about it for today. And for the last few seconds here, I'm going to sit and ponder and observe and express unfiltered, undiluted, pure, clean promotion for myself right now. Shameless promotion. Shameless plug. Do you get the gravity of this situation? Does this make sense to you? How historic this is? Jeremy Lasman, yes, third person or second person, is in the midst of the best promotion he has ever delivered on a video live to his audience. And I'm asking you, he is asking you, I am asking you. I don't know which one's better. Should I go like The Rock?
Do The Rock. Go full Rock.
Jeremy is asking you. Mr. Lasman is asking you that if you got value out of this video, to like it. Push that like button down there. And if this entertainment, mindful entertainment or artistry has spoken to your soul on some level, then you best hit that subscribe button right there. You know, other YouTubers go really fast at this part. Like, subscribe, follow. I'm not. I'm slowing down. You're going to hit that subscribe button if it spoke to your soul. And there's just one more thing. One more thing. And that is, man, if you have a friend, you must have friends, a family member, an acquaintance, a peer, a fellow human being that somehow blips on your radar of light-to-light communication with other human beings, souls on this planet. You know, your satellite radar of beacons of connection to other people. And this video somehow sparked those little blips on your radar. Well, then there's a button called share, where you could actually get the URL to this video and text it or email it to them, or direct message them in some capacity, or airdrop it if they're in the room with you. You could do that too. And I'm telling you to do that if someone came up, because we got to hit all the bases of promotion for a complete home run of professional motion right now. That's my promotion to you. And I will see you on the next video that will compound into the next video and the next video and the next video and next video. And by the time we look back, I might have done hundreds of live videos at some point. So we're going to look forward to that.